What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cucco Attack episode 35. We're coming back to you post Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So this will be a spoiler episode and our thoughts and hot takes on this new game.
Yep. And I know the reception has been pretty hot on it, but we need to get some hot takes because I don't know if we're quite as hot as everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess before we get into that, let's go over some interesting happenings in the Fantasy Critic League that happened today at that. One of my last games, Football Manager 2025, delayed to 2025. Very disappointing. This was a yearly installment that averaged about 85 points typically, and
it didn't sound like it was going to hit that this year, though, based off chatter.
It really didn't, because I guess because of them changing to Unity and a bunch of things, dropping modes and everything else. Honestly, it's probably the right decision that they did delay it. It just really was a little disappointing for me, but probably worked out for the best. And we just realized a minute ago that I drafted that game and can drop it for free, and I have $1 left.
Yes. so make it count.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, but you will not be able to replace Silkson anymore, which, let's be honest, you weren't going to. You're going to hold up to the last minute of hope.
Well, they're never going to officially come out and say it's not coming out anyway, so that was what I was hoping for. So it's coming soon, Patrick. It's coming soon. E3 2019.
It's October. It's coming this month, I swear.
So we did have some releases that came out, so let's go over to the Fantasy Critic website, and you'll see here that one of the most recent releases we had was Silent Hill 2 Remake, which got very high reviews. Everyone says that it's really good. A lot of people who haven't played it are playing it and saying it's really good. I've never played it. I've heard it's good. I've heard the original was fantastic, but and that was why I picked it up, because I was hoping that the remake followed that, like Resident Evil 4 belovedness that followed the remake as well. So that logic makes sense, and yet for some reason I thought the opposite. I thought people would be critical. I don't know why, but so it worked out in my favor. It was my best game other than Final Fantasy Rebirth, I think, so far, right? I can't really see your screen on my end. It's a little tiny for me, but that's fine.
Oh, Final Fantasy Rebirth?
Yeah, that was my highest score.
Yeah, but that's your best game.
But Silent Hill was my second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still doesn't beat. I think their best game of the year is Astro so far. So.
Yep, which is very likely my game of the year at this point. I don't see anything dethroning it. So when we get to our end of year recap, we'll see. But I think it's going to be flossing all the way to number one.
And then we also have a score for upcoming release with Metaphor Revantasio, which is your basically fantasy Persona.
Jeez, 92 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard some other podcasts. They were saying that the demo was really, really good. Because I guess there's a demo out for it. And that, so basically people are like, if you like Persona, you need to play this. So.
Yeah. What shocks me the most is just like how late in the draft this went before anyone picked it up, and I managed to snag this tasty 90 right here.
I had no idea what that was. I'm gonna be honest. But like you said, you can't go wrong with an Atlas game, right?
This is the year of Atlas. You're gonna keep an eye out on Atlas games from now on with Metaphor, Persona, and also Unicorn Overlord right there. They are just killing it.
Well, I'm sure the next Atlas game that I pick up will be the one that breaks the mold and fails, because that seems to be my luck in Fantasy Critic. So
yeah. Ubisoft this year, two out of 3.
Dude, Ubisoft is
Bad.
awful. But like, of course, I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna likely pick up Assassin's Creed if it's available at my draft pick. It's a big game, You got to take that risk. So, so yeah. I guess what else came out recently? Did we have anything else from? I don't think anything new came out since our.
I think we already talked about Zelda reviews last time. So yeah.
So that was really much.
And much on the radar next is Neva, which I guess it's coming soon, but I don't think there's reviews out for that yet. So yeah.
Yeah, geez.
That's from the makers of Greece. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or Grace, or whatever how you pronounce that game.
So yeah, so there's still hope for me not to finish in last place, but it's still.
It's close. It's actually a really close race between the 3 of you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very close. So we'll see how it goes. That news of not being able to, or being able to drop fantasy or Football Manager is big. So I gotta do some research and make sure I spend my last dollar very wisely. Maybe I'll go with I Am Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
That game, anyway. That's always the
What are the top available games, just real quick?
Yeah, let's see what we got. Mario Party Jamboree. Call of Duty. See, I've never been.
This actually looks like the best Mario Party ever. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what everyone's saying.
But I also think I think the ceiling for Mario Party is still low 80s, even being the best game.
Correct. That's the hard part. I need to find that like sleeper indie game. That's the hard part there.
Yeah.
Or a date. Just something that has an official date. But then again, I had 3 games. I had 3 games with official dates that all got canceled. So official dates mean nothing.
And even then, like, December dates make me nervous.
Yeah, that's close. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Just Dance.
Just Dance. Get like a 70 exactly. So anyway, that's about it. I have $1 to spend on one game, providing that's not the same game that Sadish or Brian try to pick up too, since they both have spots. So I need to move fast, and hopefully they don't get to hear this episode until Saturday, because they're locked out of the channel right now. No voice chat for you.
It always takes me a day to edit the video anyway, so you might be safe.
So, but we had some. I guess we'll talk about the news first before we get into the hot takes. This would be a pretty quick episode, I would think. But we've got.
Yeah, we're caught up, not waiting 7 months this time.
Yeah, not bad. Not a lot's going on. But again, we focus on Nintendo news, so we've got the new hardware announcement that dropped. Was that 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? There it is. Mario Snoozin'.
I think it was just yesterday. I don't know. It's in a blur.
Yeah, 10/9, Wednesday. So I have zero interest in this at all, especially for $100. If it was like
the price is the killer, yeah.
If it was like 30 or 40, maybe just to mess around with or get for the kids, but like I can't even justify getting one for the kids right now because they just beat the crap out of it.
But it's motion like sensing; they don't even have to touch it.
Yeah.
It's not like they're slamming it to turn off the alarm or anything. Just get out of bed.
That's true. I think the biggest thing for me though is like it would be a novelty like the first time, but then after that it's like, yeah, I'm not jumping anymore. I'm done. I'm not jumping up. I'm not stretching for coins. Leave me alone. Stop playing music. I want to sleep. So yeah, but
I think it's fun. I if it was, yeah, definitely cheaper, I would be tempted because, I don't know, as someone who uses their phone to wake up every morning with an Earthbound music track, anyways, I am accustomed to. So it really depends on like the right type of music and game. Like if they had Earthbound or Animal Crossing coming out, might intrigue me. I would prefer a different color than just bright red. It just looks so
out of
kitsch
place
right now.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
you can't like match it to like your decor.
Dude, give me a nice like wood tone color or like that Animal Crossing leaf pattern or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, like they did those the cardboard controllers for the Labo contest, or like the wood grain Joy-Con, stuff like that.
I like that. Yeah.
Cool. But it is funny that this came the day after my daughter was she saw Brody's clock. He has like a little decoration clock that he stole out of like the living room. It doesn't work. Or it doesn't have a battery in it. But she saw it sitting in his room, and she's like, "Why don't I have a clock?" And then this shows up like the next day, and I was like, "I'm not buying $100 clocks for these kids." One, they just play with it all day, so.
Yeah. I mean, right now they're only selling it through Nintendo subscriptions or Nintendo Store in New York, but I'm sure next year when it opens up to like actual retail stores, this thing will go on sale. So
yeah, this definitely, I feel like will have those clearance potential, or it's just something that's gonna sell out and you're never gonna find it again. Just like all the like the Poke Walker stuff that they did for Pokemon Go, the Pokemon Go Plus things, like I never saw those in stores when Pokemon was big. So it's always interesting to see, like, with Nintendo's like weird hardware like this, it's usually like one run of it, and then it'll, I don't know, we'll see.
It is really surprising they priced it at this, because like if they made it cheaper and more people bought it, this is like the perfect advertising tool. Just like advertising each upcoming game, like you wake up to every morning like, oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah. No, that would definitely be cool. Like if it was, I don't know, I just can't justify the price, and I would like never use it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like I said, it would just be a little irritating to wake up to every
Just
morning.
imagine like if the clock was the first to tell you there's a Nintendo Direct coming, set the alarm.
Sure.
Or something.
Fantastic. If it was like, yeah, if it woke me up with that news. Be great. But yeah, I'm not trying to play a game. I'm not trying to play a game as soon as I wake up by punching coins and stuff like they show in the. And like that one too, the Splatoon one they just showed, like in the video here.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That's like, you want to wake up to like paintball gunfire.
That sounds like an alarm for PTSD or something.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
I need calm sounds. Yeah, that's why Animal Crossing or like, yeah. That's why my alarm is Earthbound, like Home Sweet Home. I just like need something nostalgic and warm.
Yeah, I used to just have like the default iPhone like loud ring, but now I have it to like the one that's more calm and like, it's a little nicer than just like, the really loud alarm. And then just even like my ringtones, like I just turn off my ringtones, but if my ringtone's on, it's the fanfare from Link to the Past. So it's like, da-da-da, da-da-da, and it gets like obnoxious, and it like scares the hell out of you when it hits, if it's on. But my text message ringtone is fantastic.
Yoshi's Island Select.
my text is awesome though, because it's the text reading noise from Link to the Past. So it's like,
that's good. Yes.
Every time you send a text message, it's so good.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to do text notification. I'm getting a little tired of Banjo-Kazooie musical note, even though that's good.
So that's Alarmo. If it goes on sale, maybe, but I think it's a hard pass right now. But if it ends up being like, next Black Friday, they're getting rid of them all, and it's like $50 maybe, or cheaper, maybe pick it up. But or find one at like Goodwill or a yard sale for like $10. We'll see. But yeah, just to have, it would definitely be a shelf piece that would never get plugged in.
Yeah.
So.
But in the other news,
this
was even weirder news. Yeah. So they announced that they're having a Nintendo Switch Online playtest program, and they're letting select members who have like NSO and Expansion Pass register for it. Although in Japan they were doing like a raffle system because Japan loves raffles. I don't know why.
Yeah, they always do raffles for everything over there. So that's cool.
But for the rest of the world, it was like, I think up to 10,000 participants, which we refreshed our browser at the appointed time of 11 a.m. Eastern. Within a second, it was full.
Dude. It was literally, I clicked refresh, apply, agree, and it was like no reading. It was like click, 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 and it was like denied. We are no longer accepting applications because it's full. And I was like, come on, are you serious?
Fortunately, look at this right here.
Selected. Yeah, I had not selected. So I was wondering if it had to do with, since we were on a family plan together, if that
possibly
was the case. But I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I don't think it is. Just because I think it's just the fact if there was only 10,000, like that's a pretty low number considering. It
probably just filled up like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me.
One other person on our family plan tried and failed as well, so there's a slight chance, but
potentially. I
can at least show you what you get to see now, and basically we're gonna get more information around 10/20, which is coincidentally also the anniversary of when the Switch was initially revealed.
Oh,
come on!
With the rooftop party and Nintendo Switch Karen. Excellent.
Oh, something's cooking here. Something is cooking, and the weird part is let's go back to this test period, once we get the more information, runs from October 23rd to November 5th. It's just such a weird...
November 5th?
And I was reading somewhere... Yeah. Someone else was telling me that the file to download for this test is like 2.2 gigabytes.
That's pretty substantial.
That's substantial, yeah.
I mean, I'm really interested to see, like, I don't know, the fact that there's no more news right now is kind of crazy. Unless it's like cloud gaming they want to test. I mean, I know they've done some cloud tests already in Japan though, so. Yeah. But new feature.
I know some people are thinking maybe like GameCube. I don't know, like they're streaming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think maybe Switch 2 something just because that date is so coincidental.
Yeah. I don't know though.
But I don't know how it worked with Switch 1 though. It's so weird.
Because it's a play test, that's the only thing. It's not just like sign up now for a special event. It's a play test.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you playing? So if it was a special event, I could say like, well, maybe they're gonna, are they?
Feature or something that they want in the new system, or I don't know.
For sure, it's definitely gonna be something. That's why it sounds like it's gonna be streaming or something. Or it's gonna be like a Me Plaza again, and they're gonna try to get all these people to come together into like a.
Or like some online Street Pass. Oh, I would love that.
Something.
Bring it back somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's an interesting reveal that just dropped too.
It's just so mysterious. I'm just, what is this?
And the fact that they're
Who
like
is
waiting,
MAO?
Yeah, they're waiting 10 days. The crazy thing is that they have nothing here. They're just like playtest program. Who wants it? 10,000 people in 1 second. Yes.
Yes. I knew that was gonna like fill up immediately just based off like anytime there's a Nintendo Direct, you see like 9,000 people waiting in the queue before
like
it goes
3
live.
days before it starts. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Because like in the past, when they done playtest, it's always been of like they did the Mario Aces, they did the Nintendo Switch Sports, and they've done like some of the other games I never played before. But you know, I think I did like no, that wasn't a playtest, that was just a demo. Anyway, I'm not even gonna talk about that now. Like that Damon Ex Machina or whatever. That was just a demo.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't a playtest.
Switch Sports and
Switch Sports. I did that one. That was awesome. I had fun with that. I never picked it up, but it was fun. I think I got my my bowling itch out during that playtest.
Yeah. That one was weird though, because you had to play like very designated windows and stuff. It was yeah,
that was weird because you could only play from like it was like 1 hour on like random days or something like that. But but we'll see. I'm hoping that we'll have some time on that weekend. You can come over and I can experience the playtest as well, since
might as well.
Since I missed
out. Yeah.
So, actually, we'll have to
it's adorable. Nintendo thought they to keep this open till Tuesday. It was just like
that's absurd.
Or until maximum participants is reached.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So, I feel so left out. I usually never miss out on these things. So, I was ready to go, man. I had the alarm set, had my other computer on. I was ready to just click. Didn't work out.
And just in case, I clicked and then I had the word live typed into our chat feed and I hit enter just to say, go, I'm going. I was just like, click.
Yep. Yeah, man. So, but that's cool. We'll see. We'll hopefully get some more news here in 10 more days, I guess, and then it'll open up. So then you'll see if you're NDA'd to it since you signed up. They're gonna ban your account if you talk about it.
Oh man. At the very least, I won't be able to talk about it live on our show then, if that's the case.
It's okay. The 3 people listening
I will.
One of them's a Nintendo Ninja.
I know. They're just waiting for an excuse to attack us because we use the name Cucco, but...
And show all their trailers in our feeds on YouTube.
Yes.
It's okay.
And our game share screen is now Game Boy Advance. We're just giving them more and more fuel.
It's okay. We make $0 off of this podcast, so it's totally fine.
Yes.
There's no sponsorship. This is nothing but a fan project and a love of talking about video games.
Yeah. It's all fun and games until we start talking trash about Zelda.
Yes. Great segue. Go into the Echoes of Wisdom. So, I don't even know how to start this. So, I beat the game on October 3rd. So that was...
Yeah, we both beaten the game.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, so it was like a week. It was just about a week. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I probably got like 90% of the collectibles. Chad was more thorough using a walkthrough, so...
Yeah, I got to the point where I had like 12 heart pieces remaining and like, I don't know, like 20 mighty crystals or something like that. And
you gotta tell me, because I kind of just gave up and didn't bother looking it up, but what was the stamp guy for getting all the stamps?
Oh, so yeah, spoiler alert,
cool?
If you didn't get that already, this is spoilers. We're gonna talk about everything. Stamp reward, stamp guy was the best thing. So going around, so in the game, if you haven't played it and you want to listen to spoilers, whatever, you find these little stamp.
Because I missed 2 stamps. I should have looked it up, but yeah.
So I missed 2 as well. There was 2 that I had like the hardest time finding. One of them was in, I don't know if you got it. There's one in the Eternal Forest. That's like you kind of have to get to it a weird way, like up on a hill, so you don't go into the fog and disappear. And then
I think I got that one, but I think I got that from like falling down the mountain.
Then there's another one that's on the side of the mountain that you have to like float down to around the edge of it. Like you have to kind of fly out, and it's like
Oh, maybe that's the one I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's one that's like just out of scene. But anyway, you know, you collect the 5. I think it's 5 total because it's 5 stamps per sheet. So there's 5 sheets. There's 25 stamps total. Stamp guy flies down every 5 and he's stamp rally go stamp rally or whatever his little saying is. Yeah. But the reward,
I just love how the stamps are like him all muscular and like posing and flexing.
It's like handsome Squidward. Like every stamp picture. So the reward is you get to wear Stamp Guy's outfit. So that's an outfit that you can wear in the game. So you can run around as Stamp Guy, like with the little stupid stamp hat and the red suit. So that's your reward.
I like that reward.
I liked it.
One. Yeah.
I liked it because Stamp Guy was just probably, I don't know, it was just stupid. It's like your Tingle of the game, basically.
It's a tinkle, which is every game needs a tinkle. Yeah.
So so where to begin? All right. Intro of the game. Fantastic. I really enjoyed like the first 5 minutes of the game because you start off as the hero in green, the swordsman in green, as they called him. And you have a sword, a bow, and bombs, and you can jump, and you're essentially Link. And as you're going through this dark dungeon on your way to try to save Zelda, it just felt so good. I really enjoyed that. Any takes? I loved it. And as soon as I started playing it, I was like, this is the game I want for the rest of this time. And I knew it wasn't going to be that. So I was already like kind of disappointed because they gave me that taste at the beginning.
Yeah, and I have to agree. Like after playing the whole game, that thing quite feels as good as playing as Link with a sword. It's just, it doesn't compare. The immediate response of like his actions is just so much more satisfying.
Correct. That's how I felt too. There was just a lot of things where, like, if a Keese flew by, it was like, okay, I could just kill him, but now I have to like spawn something and wait for that something to see the Keese and then attack it, and it's just like, can I just kill it? No? All right, then I'm just gonna skip it. So that's what I got to. I just got to the point where I just started skipping battles. I was like, I'm kind of done with this. And that was my biggest worry going into the game, was the combat. I mean, I was very vocal about that with you from day one of this game. I was really concerned about that, and I was like, well, but they got to do something, and they did. That something was the Link transformation power.
Not as satisfied.
No, like it's cool when you do it, but it definitely doesn't last long enough. Like in the sense of
it doesn't last long enough, and it's really just like, I don't know, an extra half step that just feels off. Like having to transform and then swing your sword and then go back because you don't want to waste your power. It's just yeah.
There were times where I was literally like going in, hitting 3 times with the sword, going out, and then casting like a Dark Knight, and then going back, and then, it was just like, come on. And mostly I was only using it on like the boss. Like it was like the boss fight. Just I'd use the echoes to get the boss vulnerable, and then I would switch to Link, and then I would just hack and slash.
And part of the reason for that is they don't give you those like refill shards anywhere except for boss battles. So
for the most part, it was and there's actually times that I ran out and there were none, and I was like, what do I do now? Like, because my echoes weren't like attacking, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna beat this. So like there was like once or twice against one of the bosses, I don't remember what it was, I just died. I was like, well, I'm not doing any damage now, so I died. But then I just went and I just made a bunch of smoothies that give you that power, or I bought it. I bought the power-ups at the the shop, so that way I could have energy so I could just knock it out. But because I literally just felt, I was like, well, I can't do damage now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like none of my my echoes were dying instantly as soon as I spawned them, and I was just like, all right, I don't know. I'm sure there was another way to do it, because you could, there's a million ways to play, but the way I was playing, it was like, no, I just want Link.
Yeah.
But
speaking of dying or this is the easiest Zelda game ever, though.
100%.
Honestly.
Let's talk about I don't know. I don't want to jump right to the end, but
in terms of combat and puzzle design, either side of the spectrum has just felt underwhelming.
Correct. Even some of the underwater, the tunnels and stuff you go into, the platforming stuff, it was just oh, yeah, it's right there. I don't have to do anything. I think the hardest level, the only thing I had trouble with, and I would have done it better. I didn't realize this part was kind of a pain in the butt. I kept I didn't align it properly. Yeah, I wouldn't align it properly, and I couldn't drop over using the reverse bind. It was kind of annoying. But no, let me think about that. What was it? There was a level I never realized that until way later in the game, that you could cast a keys and then pick it up and use it to fly. I just never paid attention to that, I guess. So it took me a while, but then I think it was the Elden Volcano.
Yeah, they pretty much spelled out to you at that location.
Correct. Yeah. But at that part, I didn't do that battle before going into the temple, or I didn't do that challenge. And when I went into the temple, there's all the wind gusts over the lava, and that would have, if I would have seen that, it would have made it a lot easier than how I did it. And that was kind of where I was getting irritated.
All right.
Because I was how the hell, I'm I have to glide. How do I glide? And I just never thought about using the bat to fly.
I mean, it wasn't even in the trailer, so.
But I didn't pay attention to that. I just never paid attention to it. And so the way I ended up doing it was I was basically just cheesing it. So I would use the tile to fly across, and then I would jump, cast another tile, get on it, and then fly over everything, and then hope I had enough to jump over and get onto the platform. And that's how I ended up doing it. And then after I beat it, I go over and do the challenge where you fly, and the guy shows you how to glide and stuff. And I was like, oh, that would have been very helpful a few minutes ago when I was in that level. So, not the smartest when it comes to that stuff, but that was really the only thing that I struggled on, and it wasn't even struggling. It was just kind of all right, I guess I have to figure out how to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it.
You just brute forced it. Just
found another way to do it. So, but other than that, that was really it. That was the only time I ever really had any trouble. And then the end boss was probably the most disappointing to me. Because
I enjoyed it enough, but you go ahead. Yeah.
What it was fine as a battle, but literally Link did everything. I would just cast the Dark Knight level 2 or 3, the white one that was all of my shards or whatever. And I would just cast that and move, and I literally lost 2 hearts the whole last battle of the game, because Link was just the one doing all the damage with 3 arrows at a time, or throwing bombs, and I don't know, it just felt really I don't know, it was unsatisfying to beat it. It's oh, it's over, and I did nothing, and it I didn't get that stress of oh my gosh, I got 2 hearts left and I don't have any fairies. That's
it wasn't hard, that for sure. Yeah,
it was probably the least damage I've ever taken in a final boss, and even to this day, I play Link to the Past, and I still go in with fairies when I go to fight Ganon, and I still use a couple, regardless of how many times I've played that game and no patterns. I still get I still hit. Maybe I just suck, but the fact that this game, like, literally I lost like 2 hearts. And you get them back too.
The section before the final boss where Zelda was like summoning all these dark monsters at you was a little challenging, but
yeah, that one was a little harder. But I mean, like, the final end phase though was just like, come on. But even that one though, like, I stocked up on power, Link power, and I would just I'd shoot her with the bow. And then I would just go hack and slash, and I'd shoot her with the bow and hack and slash, and it was just like, yeah, this is pretty.
I guess I just realized I didn't use the Link power at all during the final boss. It was all just summons, so maybe I made it more challenging for myself by doing that.
No, I used the Link power, like, just during that section, because at that section Link is trapped still, because then you break him out after that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
That's that's like the battle beforehand, but.
Oh yeah. That battle before the end, I only transformed to Link whenever she like went down on the ground, and then I did my slices. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I transformed. And I hit her with the bow, and I just made sure to have extra power. So, speaking of power too, the collecting all of the mighty crystals. All it does is it gives you a auto refill of energy at the swordsman's house. Like
what?
So when you
I understand what you're saying. This is like, what a horrible reward. That can't be.
Yeah, it's literally like, it's like a flower pot outside with crystals in it, and it glows, and then you can just walk up to it and check it, and then your meter fills up. That's your reward for getting all of them.
That's so much work for such a pointless. Oh my god!
Especially because, like, nobody's gonna collect all the mighty crystals before beating the game. Like, I don't know. It was kind of a disappointing.
That was a slap in the face right there.
Yeah, and then I heard the same thing for like. What's that?
I was gonna segue just like on a topic of rewards. Just like, this game is very unsatisfying at times, putting effort into lots of particular puzzles, and all you get is like a smoothie ingredient, or it's just like,
or like 20 rupees. It was 20 and 50 rupees constantly, and like,
the economy is pointless in this game. Like, at a certain point, just rupees are pointless.
Yeah, so 100%. Like, I don't even remember. Like, I bought like smoothies or whatever. But, like, honestly,
there's the fairy, but
the fairy,
you
so
can
you can unlock all
pay
your
her
stuff
off pretty quickly.
Yeah, I paid her off really fast just with golden eggs. Like, there's a couple golden eggs that those sell for 150 rupees each. So it was just kind of like,
I just sold all my smoothies because I can't hold them all, and they just sold for a lot of money. I was like, okay, I'll make more.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just a very, like, unsatisfying, like, reward system. And then the the scene that it showed earlier, like, where you have all the bokoblins or the, all the enemies that are around the chest. They did it like how Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom do those chests, where they regenerate. So it was kind of annoying because it was like, oh, did I come here yet? Like, because those chests would always regenerate, so it was kind of annoying because it's like I couldn't remember if I'd been there or not when I'm looking for these mighty crystals. And the only thing that helped with that was the bell when you get to the end. I don't know. Did you ever do that much with the fairy? Did you do the fairy side quest?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, so there's a fairy side quest.
Go ahead.
There's a fairy side quest where you have to do a couple different side quests to have her a necklace made at the Gerudo Desert, at Gerudo Town. They make one of the shopkeepers there makes jewelry, and she will make the Great Fairy a necklace out of the materials that you have to get her. And when you take this to the Great Fairy, she rewards you with a bell that it's basically your shrine finder in Tears of the Kingdom. So you get close to a bell, and you get close to a crystal, it'll start dinging, and then if you get closer, it dings like kind of crazy. So then you're in the vicinity of like a person who might give you a challenge that you're going to get a mighty crystal as a result. Or
I like that system exists.
That's how I found like the last one.
I wish there was like a quest board that would have alerted me that was even a quest available, because I did not know that existed.
You just had to talk to the Great Fairy again after you got your last accessory slot.
I swear I did talk to her again, and she never gave me that, so it must have been after some other point in the game. I don't know.
It could have been after you... It could have been after the first half of the game.
Maybe.
Potentially. I don't remember. But
I just never bothered to revisit her again after I was like, oh, I guess I got everything from you.
Yeah, I think I went to her... I think I went back because I was like, oh, I got another bottle. Let me go put a fairy in it. So I transported there to grab that fairy that was flying around in there. And then I talked to her. And then it was like, give me this quest. And like I think I did every side quest, I'm pretty sure, in the game. And I didn't look up side quests. The only thing I looked up were the last couple heart pieces because I just couldn't remember where I'd been. And the mighty well, and the 2 stamps at the very end, because I was like, I'm so close and I cannot figure this out. But again, it's like I was telling you off mic was I love the 2D kind of grid system because it transitions, and when it transitions, you know that you're out of that space now. And when it's a top-down Zelda with no boundaries, I feel like there's just little spots of the map that I miss. And that's kind of what happened.
And sometimes that's where we actually miss things. Yeah,
and that's what happened because like Hyrule Castle, there was a heart piece right behind the wall, and I was like, how did I not see that? And it was like at the end of the game. I was like, I already beat the game. I'm like, how did I not pick up this heart piece at the very beginning of the game on the outside of the thing? Like, it's like I could have swore I walked up there, but I guess I didn't, obviously. And then there was like 1 or 2, like one was like underwater and I couldn't see it. Like it was just barely sticking out of the water, just barely visible through the water. And I was like, okay. As soon as I went there, I was like, there it is, clear as day. Like, how did I miss that? I think anything that required like a battle, I had, and because that was all. There was other ones that I already got. Like there was a heart piece in the pirate ship. Did you do that quest?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had the pirate ship one, then you had the ruins, the eastern ruins. There was the big cloud guy. Did you fight him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fought him twice.
Yeah, so you fight him twice too. So those are 2. I got those. That's fine. That boss was kind of a pain in the ass too, though, using echoes. Because I kept having to not that it was hard, it was just annoying because it was like, go this way, this way.
80% certain that's a boss we fought in the Zelda game before, like one of the Oracle games or something. I had definite deja vu fighting him.
For sure. He's kind of like there's a cloud you fight in Link's Awakening. There's a cloud in...
Maybe it's a Link's Awakening boss, yeah. I don't know, I feel like that was a boss in a dungeon after you got, summoning the block item or something, and you're like, that's how you beat the boss, is, putting them together with the blocks, so...
Yeah, but just, I knew what to do, but I was just having so much trouble getting the echoes to block the spot, but then I figured out if you use try to pull him with the bind ability, he'll go the opposite way when you hit him with it. So I was like, okay, fine.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's how, because it got to a point where it's they were so spread out. I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. So I just started using the bind ability to make them go the opposite direction so they'd finally clash. And then I turned into Link and just kill him, instantly. So, but like the game, the game overall is like, it was a lot of fun in the sense of like traversing the world using the different echoes. Like, I love the ability to just hop on top of the trees and like roam around. And that's probably why I missed a bunch of little spots on the map, because I'd just be like, trees on top of the trees, and I just walk. And like, what do I see? And, I did enjoy that. But overall, like, I don't know, it just didn't hit like a Zelda game usually hits. Like, I think it's just missing that combat, a little bit of difficulty. I was hoping it'd be a little longer too, like, because it felt very short. It was just like, 5 bosses, something like that. Like, it kind of had that dark world set, like light world, dark world, with like your midpoint after,
The still world was one thing I was really hoping would have been more interesting, in the sense that the game starts off telling you, like, the still world, everything's not in the right spot as it is in Hyrule. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. So if I go here, I might end up somewhere else. I'm like, no, it's really just these self-contained little pockets.
Just that little section of the map. And it's like, some of the still world stuff was okay, where like it wasn't like a dungeon and you had to go in and rescue it. Because then like you'd unlock these little parts of the map, and then when it would open up, there'd be a heart piece, or there'd be a side quest story where like the two people were waiting each other in the love pond, and like you bring back the love pond, and then you get side quests from them, and then you can get a heart piece there, you can get mighty crystals, and those were okay. But at the same time, it came down to, you're going to do the same thing. It's like, and Try has to tell you about it. I can sense my friends in here. I can tell you that there's 3 of them, or there's 4 of them, or there's 5 of them. And
it just became repetitive, and it had so much more potential if they used it differently. So,
yeah, Try was annoying with that. Like,
I like his personality to an extent, but he got annoying at times. Like, I liked when he would like go through walls and then come back out like, oh yeah, you can't do that. Sorry.
For sure, like that was fine. Like, like I said, the character, like you said, the character itself was fine, had some humor to it. Was, but it's just like, I don't know, the repetitiveness of the dialogue was annoying, and the fact that you couldn't just skip that, but yet like you can skip like all those cutscenes where things are like actually happening. You can skip that, but you can't skip him telling you that we're nearby my friends. I wonder where they are. It's like, stop it. Or the fact that like Zelda is holding this is this comes back to the combat. She's holding a rod. There should be some sort of melee attack.
There should have been.
The only melee attack, I don't know if you ever got it, there was an elbow pad or a shoulder pad. Did you get that accessory?
Did that actually do something?
It would
I thought that just prevented knockback.
It would let you spin, and if you did you get the powerful spin from the Gerudo? Did you get the Gerudo pajamas or dancing clothes?
I didn't get the pajamas, yeah.
So there's dancing clothes. It's not the pajamas.
I didn't get the dancing clothes, okay.
Yeah, there's dancing clothes, and when you do the dancing clothes, it gives you a bigger spin radius. So you put off like a more powerful spin. So with that and the elbow pad, or shoulder pad, whatever, I can't remember what it was, you could actually, you could just kind of like run through the enemies and like not get hurt when you hit them. Because you just spin, and it would just kind of like bounce off them, but you just go. So it was like...
I was hoping it was still like a melee attack, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it wasn't like a melee attack. It was literally just to like, you could just go through it, and you're done. So, I wish they would have, like, people are like, oh, I'm glad they didn't just give her a sword. And it's like, okay, don't give her a sword, it's fine. She's like, the priestess or whatever, and...
She was falling on necromancer in this game.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like you have a big staff, hit somebody with it. Like, and it doesn't have to kill them, but even if it just stunned them or something, where you could like stun them and then pull something out. Like, I feel like they could have done something a little different with the way combat worked. But you know, I still want the game that the intro teased us with. Like, that'd be good for like
sure.
That would be really good. Again, like, we've already seen Link's Awakening in this style, but like, if we got the Oracle games, that would be awesome. If we got like a Minish Cap or something, that'd be cool. I don't know how you do that though in this engine. I don't know, it'd be interesting. Performance. Let's go into performance. I noticed frame drops like crazy, and like, it wasn't like
quite frequently. And early too, like
yeah, it was like right away.
As soon as you get to Castle Town in the intro of the game, you're like, oh god, what is happening?
And like, you start playing and it's like, it's not horrible. Like, it's I don't know, it's not horrible to the point where you're like, I'm gonna put this down, but it's just very noticeable. Yeah. But the thing that was crazy to me was, like I was telling you before, was if you switched into Link, it would just go like 100 frames a second. like you would just see it like so smooth during that transition, and for a second the game would just like speed up, and it's like, cool, this looks and then it's like crawls again. And I'm like, is there something with like the texture of like her clothes that is like messing this up? Like, what's going on? Like, why would transitioning it, no matter when you did it, you'd see this like massive performance spike? So I don't know if it's just like the model is like causing something. You'd think they'd be able to figure out a way to optimize that. Just, you know, and I'm not like a frame rate snob by any means either. Like, no. But it's just one of those things where you see a, like, you know, it's a beautiful game. Like, you know, don't get me wrong.
It's beautiful, but it happened frequently enough that it really was noticeable.
But yeah, that's like the thing. Like, it's a beautiful game, but it's like, you would think they would be able to get, you know, this running. But I mean, you know, it's not a 2D Zelda, it's a top-down 3D Zelda. So it's still 3D assets that are being rendered.
I wish it had an option just to like lock it at 30 frames. Like, I would have been happier with that than like the constant fluxing between frame rates.
Because it was just weird, like, just really weird to see it like just all of a sudden like spike, and it felt like, you know, it was kind of like when the TV started doing that auto motion plus stuff, and you turn on a sports game, and it would just be like like running on the field would be so much smoother than anything else you were watching on TV. It's kind of what it would feel like, but it'd just be like at random moments of the game. And typically I noticed it when you would transform into Link for a second, or sword fighter mode.
Or anytime you'd ride a horse, it's just like, never mind, I'm not riding a horse anymore.
Yeah, the horse too. I only rode the horse when I had to, like, to do the horse races. And like, I think I did ride like one of the horses around once, because I was like, oh, let me see what I can go over. And it was cool that it like would jump up the different elevations, so you weren't stuck, like, you know, in such little areas, because there were a lot of elevation changes throughout the game because they want you to use your echoes to traverse. So it was cool that the horse was able to, you know, to jump over most items. I mean, obviously not trees or, you know, large bushes, but yeah, I never used that. I never had a need for it. There was also, you know, there's like 70 waypoints throughout the map to just fast travel to, so I would look over, okay, I'm just gonna fast travel there and, you know, walk to where I want to go, try to figure it out. But I don't know, it's you know, final take, it's definitely a lower tier Zelda. I think I gave it a 7 on my playlist, because it was still like,
ended up giving this 7.
I think so. I think that's what I gave it. It's still like, I had fun. I'm not gonna say I didn't. Like, I still like a top-down Zelda, and the exploration was enough to keep me engaged, to keep going. And like I said, I spent 3 days after I beat it just going through looking for heart pieces and the stuff before I finally ended up just using a guide. Because I used 3 days of 3 days, 2 to 3 hour play sessions of literally just walking around looking for stuff and not finding it. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. So, I was like, I'm done. I need to use a guide and just finish this up. So I'm not touching it anymore. So they gave it a 6, eh? Yeah. I mean, and I'm right there with you. Like, I could give it a 6 too, but
I was between a 6 and a 7, and Before I berate the game, I do want to say, like, the two things I loved about it. One, soundtrack was fire. Like, some of the dungeon music is some of my, like, favorite dungeon music of any Zelda game. They were inspired in this game. And yeah, it was a cute game, is what I'd call it. Like,
for sure.
Everything made me warm and fuzzy, and it's still a game I would recommend playing. But
did you get the cat
at the
outfit?
end of I did.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you got it. Yeah. I didn't know if you got it or not, because I was gonna say that's right there. Like, that's the type of game that they made. Was like, yeah, just cute. Was what I was going at.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was like an accessory instead of an outfit, so I didn't have to keep like equipping, unequipping it to talk to cats. So
yeah, it would have been nice if it was another way to do it. But
yeah, like if it was just cat whiskers and that was just like one of your 5 accessories, that would have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
But
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but yeah.
No, yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just found a lot of elements lacking, like the combat, the puzzles, just nothing felt really quite satisfying in terms of like the end result of your gameplay. It kind of felt like a big time filler. I don't know, like just wandering around a map, which is a chill kind of fun experience, but
yeah,
it was more for just like the cute stories, and that was it. The novelty of the gimmick kind of wore off fast.
Yeah, completely agree. I just I did have fun with it. I put about 35 hours into it. And, like I said, three of those days were me just running around searching for stuff. But, because I get to that's the way I am with all Zelda games. So, it did hold me and, in long enough to be able to do that. And then I just enjoyed exploring, a top-down Zelda, but I completely agree with you. Like, the combat was always my biggest worry of that game. I talked to one of my friends too, and he's like, "Oh, you got the new Zelda? How is it?" And he's like, "Does it suck because of the echoes?" And I was like, he said, "Does it suck because of the gimmick that they put in it?" And I was like, "Honestly," and he just started laughing immediately. He's like, "I knew it. I knew I was right." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and like, I talked to people I play hockey with, and they're like, I was like, "Oh, I'm playing Zelda," and they're like, "Oh, how is it?" And I'm like,
Well...
like it's fine. Like, it's a game. It's fun. Like, it's okay. It's just not what we're used to with a Zelda game. I think there's a lack of satisfaction and challenge and stuff like that.
I mean, I like it when I try new things. I appreciate it. It's just this one didn't quite hit the same. Like, think of Minish Cap and Shrinking, or Link Between Worlds and Merging with the Walls. Those mechanics hit, and this just did not.
Yeah. So it's kind of a shame, but I'm still fine that I played it. Like, I'm still fine with, buying it and playing it. It just wasn't, maybe I'm just an old man now, and Zelda is,
Yeah. And it gave you like tools for creativity, but I think the system was so broken that you never really had any use to be creative.
Exactly.
Like, you could just abuse the echoes so much.
And that was like the thing, like, other than, I just used, you could do things in multiple ways, but at the same time, like, I honestly never felt like I had to be
No.
creative to do anything. It was like, other than the time that I didn't know you could use a keys to fly over the thing.
Yeah.
Like other than that,
I do want to share my one story creativity. Like, this is the only time I decided to be creative in the game, and it was there was a underwater section with a like water funnel pushing you against, and I was like, I can't get through this. The shark can swim through it, but he doesn't seem to want to swim through it. So how am I? Okay, I'm gonna put a piece of meat way over there. I'm gonna summon the shark. I'm gonna reverse bind onto the shark. The shark goes for the meat. I've got through the wind tunnel, water tunnel.
That's how you got through those? That's funny. I didn't even think about that. And you said, I think I read online that you said you didn't get the plat boom until like end game, or like.
Oh yeah. I did not realize that was an enemy you could kill, so I did not get that until I was like post credits looking for the rest of the echoes.
Yeah, man, the plat boom was money for getting through some of those water things where it's pushing you down. It was like, all right, plat boom, and then just walk in. So, yeah,
that's funny.
That's funny, but it is funny too, like that we had basically the same echoes that we missed, other than I missed the carrot. Yeah. I missed the carrot because I just never.
I did miss that for a long time. Yeah.
I just didn't think about it. I was like, okay, like I gave the horse a carrot to get Zelda's horse back, and then I just was like, okay, carrots are here. I know where the carrots are now. I didn't even think about like, oh, I can echo a carrot to call the horse.
Yeah.
Never once.
But honestly, like the whole thing, all I did was summon that spinny plant for like my main. Yeah, that was it.
That was my main fighter for like until I got
fighting the final boss. That was just like 3 of those. Go.
I just did the level 2 or 3 Dark Knight, and he just gets that big axe and spins, and I was like, yep, that's my guy. So,
3 spinny plants, man. 3 spinny plants.
Yeah, that's true. I probably could have beat it a lot faster and never taken any damage. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the next the future is for top-down Zelda after this. Yeah. So
at least 2D Zelda lives, so
for sure. Like I said, it was still fun. I just want that intro as a game. The intro as a full game.
And then I crave just a little more structure, even though this was a fun, still open experience. I like a little more thoughtful design.
Yeah, that's, I think, kind of get away from that in these open world games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Even to a point, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say that, but like, I guess Link Between Worlds like did it right, but at the same time, I personally didn't like having to rent the weapons, because there's something to me, finding that key item in a dungeon is so rewarding and satisfying that
absolutely
it's so hard to like not have that anymore. It's like just weird.
Yeah, the key item, even though it's like obvious to like half the puzzles in the dungeon, like, oh, I'm gonna need to get something somewhere, it just has such a nice sense of progression that isn't able to be captured without it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just, yeah, I mean, they've done that through all of the 3D Zeldas until Breath of the Wild. Like, you know, you get like the boomerang or the wind thing, and like blowing the propellers, or your double hook shots, and your I don't know, just all that stuff is like, I don't know, I just love that. Like, you know, again, Link to the Past is my favorite, so, and that game was strictly built on your key items per dungeon. And that's why when the first time I played Link Between Worlds, I'm like, but no, I get this inside the dungeon. I don't want to rent it, and I want to keep it the whole game so I can use it later. I don't want to come back and rent it. Like, yeah, so, you know, that was just kind of that got to the point. Like, that was like my biggest disappointment when I first started playing that game, but obviously, like, that game's amazing. It's such a good job of that.
It was able to overcome it because it made the dungeons at least thoughtful and designed of needing the key items, even if you had them before the dungeon. And each dungeon was just like so smartly designed. It just has such unique themes, and yeah.
I would always think though, but what item am I gonna get in this dungeon now if I already have the key item? But yeah, it was cool. So I hope we can get back to that at some point. With not just a remake, I hope we actually get like a true, linear 2D Zelda.
Yeah.
Something would be it'd be a lot of fun to go that way. Or even if they make a new 3D Zelda, I don't know what they're gonna do at this point. If every new Zelda is gonna have to live up to Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, I don't know how you do it. Or maybe we're finally gonna get that Ocarina remake, and I'm just gonna play that and have to be satisfied. I don't know.
That does seem the most likely next entry, and just in terms of biding time. But it will be really interesting to see where they go next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's about it, I guess. Unless you have anything else to say about The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom or any other Zelda game.
Where does it rank on your Zelda list?
Oh, it's
we sure did quick ranking, or is it at the bottom?
I'm trying to think. Honestly, it might be at the bottom. It really might be. Even though I enjoyed it, and that's the thing, Zelda games, even a bad Zelda game is still a good game. It's still decent. But this one's definitely at the bottom just for the concerns with combat and everything, and just the lack of satisfaction.
Even below Triforce Heroes pom-poms.
Yeah, well, I don't count Triforce Heroes. I'm thinking of main Zelda games. I don't know, I don't count Triforce Heroes or the Hyrule Warriors stuff, or Link's crossbow.
Oh, Hyrule Warriors definitely not. No.
Link's crossbow training, and one of the other ones, the CDI games, which I've only played. I tried playing one of those once on an emulator, and it wouldn't. The emulator sucked, and I was like, well, the game sucks and the emulator sucks. I guess I'm not playing this game. But yeah.
All right, so ignoring all those, the probably only competition it has is Phantom Hourglass. So between that and
what though? So I know a lot of people.
I like Phantom Hourglass though.
A lot of people hate Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, but
Spirit Tracks is great. Those people are wrong. Whoever says
games,
that,
dude. I love those games. I played those. Yeah. So here's the thing. Those games kind of got me back in. I always have these little breaks of gaming. So let's get into this story real quick. So I got a 3DS. I think I saw that there was a Zelda on 3DS, Phantom Hourglass, and this guy I worked with was like, oh, I'll sell you my or not 3DS, DS. He's like, oh, I'll sell you I have a DS, the hinge is broken, I'll sell it to you for $20. I was like, done. $20. I went on eBay, I bought a new shell and put it in the new shell, worked beautifully. Immediately, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks. I don't remember if Spirit Tracks was out yet. It may have been, but because I don't remember when this was. I was in college. So I had 4-hour breaks between classes because I literally went to school. My first class was at 7 and my last class ended at 10. So I was literally on campus all day on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So on the times that I had 4-hour breaks between classes, I would literally just sit in a chair out in the hallway of the different buildings, because I think it was the IT building. They had these little study areas you could sit in just to hang out, do homework, whatever. I would literally just get in one of those chairs, put my feet up, pull out that DS, and play Phantom Hourglass. And and that's where I played Spirit Tracks too, and I loved every minute of those games. Out there playing. I don't remember much of them anymore, but I loved it. I had so much fun playing them.
I know the main criticism of Phantom Hourglass was the temple that you had to keep returning to. with the phantoms,
where you have to sneak around and then you have to get the little lights.
And you had like a time limit and stuff that you had to keep going back to. Yeah. Which I thought was kind of interesting, at least. I don't know. It didn't bother me too much, especially because you got new items for each dungeon you went to, and when you went back to that, you could get like new shortcuts and figure out how to get down faster.
Yep.
So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that game. Like, I remember beating it and being like, yeah, that was fun. That was really cool. And it was like my first like experience with the DS too. So I was like, stylus and getting into it because I hadn't had I had a Game Boy Advance in high school, but then like I barely played the Game Boy Advance either. So, and I never had an SP. I had the original Game Boy Advance. And like,
but if you're like making a touchscreen complete control game, like it felt satisfying, how they translated it.
Yeah, it was cool. I really enjoyed that. And then Spirit Tracks, though, I played that in college. So I graduated in December of 2009, and then I guess I was playing it, and then I graduated, and then I never played it again. I never finished it. So I finished it, but I put the DS down. That was 2009, and that was just because I drove, I played hockey, I did all this stuff. So like I never thought about playing handheld games. I always played, at that time I was playing like Counter-Strike. I was playing I played the Wii. I was playing like Zelda on the Wii and all that stuff, and then I picked up a Wii U, but then I ended up moving. I only remember this because of where I lived. And when I started getting back into retro games and stuff, I remember finding my 3DS and then going, oh, I never beat Spirit Tracks. And this was like, it had to have been between, because I moved to this place in 2013. So it was between 2013 and 2015, because that's when I lived there. It's when I met you, when I lived in Clarksburg.
I vaguely actually remember now you playing Spirit Tracks. Wow. Yeah.
So I was almost done with it. I was like, I had like the last like dungeon and then like the last boss to beat. And one night I found my DS, I charged it, and I sat like in the floor plugged in while the DS was charging, and I sat there for like 3 hours until I beat it. So I beat it like literally like 4 to 5 years after starting it. But I had fun with it. It was fun. Like, I don't know, the little like
I like that game.
Angry trains.
I think that game, the music was stronger. The story was actually kind of fun. Like the character dynamic between Link and Zelda as it goes was cool. And being a choo-choo train was kind of a fun way to travel around Hyrule.
It was funny because it just looked like Toon Link all dressed like an engineer,
and like working the rope for the whistle and
pulling
stuff.
the rope was awesome. I loved that. I did that all the time. That game was so much fun. So this game didn't give me that joy, laughter, smile, like the charm. It didn't have the charm like that those games always did. It was cute,
but it was missing that just like little extra something that I'm gonna really latch onto when I'm thinking about this in 5 years.
Like you have Wind Waker is an amazing game, but it has that like dynamic of like your little sister and Tetra and all that stuff, and like it's just the way it all links together.
It's just so memorable, and just like how the islands and the ocean are actually like, it's just, oh my gosh.
This game, like,
even Ocarina of Time, like visiting the forest again when you're an adult, and just like the emotional impact that has as like both story and just none of this.
This game had like I mean, even like Link. So like think of it like Link's Awakening. You had like the trade quest, so you kind of have that in a sense of like. In this, but like those, you get to see the personalities of the village and like the island, the people live on the island and stuff like that.
Or your date with Marin, or just like the impact of like this is all a dream, and like it's just.
But like this game, like the closest you have to that is like the townspeople talking about Link. That's really like what you get out of it. How they're just like, oh, Link is gone. Link is on his way to save he was trying to save a young girl or trying to fight evil, and like that was kind of all you got out of it. And then other than that, it was just
and he couldn't talk because he was like in the still world, which was cute. But
yeah, and then like Zelda it was really just like, okay, the first half was saving your father, and then like you finally save her, and then or save him, and then it opens up, and then you're the princess, and the whole town's like, oh, the princess is a badass, I'm gonna help. So that's cool, but like, because then everyone's like, the guard, like the head guard guy was like, how dare you ask the princess to help, and it's like, because I thought she could, and it's like you had like little stuff like that, but it wasn't the same as like this big impactful like twist or story. It was just like, okay, we finally save Link, and now we're gonna be in a split room, and we're gonna help each other get to the final boss, and then it's done basically. So I don't know. It's definitely enjoyable, but at the bottom of my list, I think, just due to the nature of how different it is.
All right.
So, I take it you're roughly about the same, since it's the lowest rated Zelda game you've probably ever done.
This is obvious, yeah, for me. So, all my other Zelda games, the lowest ever had been 7. So, like, yeah.
And what was that?
I think this. That's a good question. Let me check real quick. Let me go to my games beat and see. I mean, I think Phantom Hourglass was a 7 for sure. Not that it was a bad game per se, but my one criticism with Phantom Hourglass was just that it had repeating dungeon music, which got on my nerves. Like, I like dungeons to be unique, so
yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing for me.
Particularly sensitive.
This isn't a bad game. I wouldn't call this a bad game. It's just not
a
what
6 for me is okay. Game. Yeah, but it's still enjoyable. Yeah. It's when I start giving you 5s that you should start worrying.
You hear that? Oh, you know why? It's because Miyamoto wasn't on this game at all. At least that's what they say. You should put Zelda in the filter at the top. That'll probably help.
I think it's because it's
actually under Zelda.
Under T for some reason.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. So, and it only loads like 15 games at a time, so almost there. I should have probably done the opposite alphabet.
Or just typed in Zelda in the filter and it will come up.
Ridiculous. Oh, but there's going to be a lot of supers for Mario, aren't there?
This is what the people want.
They're not even seeing me scroll right now. It's just...
Nope. Here.
Okay, here we are.
Look, now we're there.
Perfect timing. So, yeah, NES Zelda 7. Just because it's fine. It has a concept.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's... The worst part about that Zelda is the not being able to have the 90-degree sword swing. That's really what limits that.
For sure.
And the other limitation of not being able to burn like more than one bush on a screen at a time. Like that's annoying.
It's still amazing like how much of the DNA like is truly fun, which is why it's a 7 though, because it works. You can have a good time playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 Swords, it's fun. It's more the challenge of getting all those Game Boy Advances and link cables that you need to play it, but...
So, I've never played 4 Swords.
We should do it together sometime.
I played it linked. I played the one on Game Boy linked with a friend in high school.
But the GameCube one is a big game. It has like...
I have it, but I've never...
8 worlds with 4 levels each. It's like huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
Yeah.
one I have it, and I started playing it once, and I don't know why I put it down. I think it was just because I was like, this looks like a Game Boy game on the big screen. I don't want to play this right now, and I like didn't play it. But that's the only Zelda I've never played because I never considered it a full game. I never like.
It is.
I always thought it was the same thing as the one they put on Game Boy.
Oh no, the Game Boy one is like a prototype, if anything, like just testing it, and then they made this into full 8 worlds, 4 levels per world adventure.
All right, I'm gonna have to play it then. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they should port that to. Maybe it's gonna be the playtest. Maybe that's the playtest.
Maybe. Oh, that'd be great. You can technically play it by yourself, but it's so much more fun with friends if you can manage it.
I'm
Just
sure.
the competitiveness. Yeah. Phantom Hourglass. Skyward
Vati,
Sword,
right?
I gave a 7.
Vati's
Yeah.
the baddie.
Well, should I spoil?
No, it's fine. You don't have to. Because I did start playing it, and I remember like the very beginning of it. But okay.
Yeah.
But that was also the bad guy in Minish Cap, though, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was
They definitely had a thing for Vati around that, like
2003.
those years. Yeah.
20 years ago.
They're like, oh, what a cool new villain. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
I mean, Vati is cool. Yeah. Honestly, not the 2 multiplayers are 7s, and then controversially, to some people, Skyward Sword and Tears of the Kingdom are 7s to me.
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom was so good. I loved it. But I get it. I get it. Like it's the thing with Tears of the Kingdom is like Breath of the Wild was so innovative and so different that Tears of the Kingdom was great, but it's like
10 right there.
Yeah.
7.
Like I don't know. I love there was lots of parts of Tears of the Kingdom that I liked, but at the same time it was like the same world, so it felt like I don't know. I mean, I still love the game. I played it more than I played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it was easy. Another 100 hours for me. Like I can't. To give it anything lower than a 7 would be insulting at that point.
Like I liked having the depths, and like I love like the epicness of climbing up to the top of that first sky dungeon, wind dungeon. Oh my god, it was so much fun. And then like that first boss when you're flying around, it's just like
oh, that was like one of the best just boss battles in video games. It was amazing.
So cool.
You're kind of making me regret. I should maybe bump it up to an 8. We'll see.
Tears is good.
Yeah, and
you get to fight
when you're going to the
same boss
Undercloud
too. Oh, you get to fight. Oh yeah, and you got that's so good. That whole section. Yeah, Tears was good. I should go. I can't replay those games though. They're just so massive. I got about halfway through Breath of the Wild again right before Tears of the Kingdom came out, just with Brody.
I mean, maybe that affected me too, because I did like replay the entirety of Breath of the Wild before Tears.
You had like 6 years so between games, so. But Triforce Heroes, did you ever play that like outside of the time me and you played it when we went to the Nintendo store in New York?
A little bit, yeah.
I never played it.
I beat the game.
I never played it outside of that time we played it, and it was just kind of like,
And then I played it online with like random strangers, because playing by yourself was probably the only reason I give that game a 7. It is not designed really for solo play. Playing with statues sucks.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot that's how it worked. I think I did play it once by myself, but no, I always played it. I really only played it with like you and your brother that time we went to New York, and it was fun. That's like the only reason.
It was a fun game though. Yeah,
it was fine.
I like it. I like it's entirely dungeon focused. It's got cool puzzles designed in mind with 3 people. It's a cool game.
Yeah. I think that's just like the barrier for me though. Is like I don't have anyone else to play with. It's like such a chore to find. Like I can play with you, but at the same time, it's like you're not here all the time. I can't just be like, hey, let's play.
And more tedious that they didn't let you play with 2 people. Like 3 is such an odd number.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why couldn't it be two people and like you could just swap between the statue? That would have actually been feasible. I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't even know if I have like. I don't think I ranked any of my Zeldas. Like I could do it. I mean, Link to the Past is number one. Let's see, top of my head, Link to the Past is number one. I can't put Link Between Worlds there because it's the same game in a sense. It's not the same game, but it's very, very, very similar. I did enjoy it though.
It borrows a lot.
The original Link's Awakening is like one of my favorite games ever. You know, Ocarina of Time.
It's pretty amazing.
Fantastic. You know, I really, when I finally beat, and I don't see it on your list here. Did you beat Zelda 2?
It should be
NES
on here.
It's
maybe
at the
it's
bottom.
all the way
It's
at the
under
beginning.
C. It's because the name of it is Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. That's the official name.
Oh, you're right.
So, you know,
You're right.
That game's definitely not top 10 for me, but
now I'm just curious what I rated it. Where is it?
It's not top for me, but it's definitely like I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would since I finally beat it. Like, and I beat it on the NES. I literally sat. Yeah, there it is. You didn't rate it. Oh,
it should be. It's loading.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems right.
It was a fun game. It was definitely fun. It was just challenging as hell. Death Mountain was so rough, dude.
Super hard.
Especially playing, like I said, playing it on an actual NES with no save states was like killer, and I forced myself to do it. Whereas a kid,
I couldn't do it without save states too, though. Actually, it was impressive. Yeah.
Like the first, as a kid, I couldn't even I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But then, you know, you figure it out, you know, when you're smarter. But yeah, that was really, really fun. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would. When before I finally beat it, I was like, that's the worst Zelda. Hands down, worst Zelda. That's what I always said. Until I finally forced myself to play it. And then I was like, nah, that was actually a lot of fun. I don't know if I want another Zelda like that, but it was fun. I did enjoy it.
I would be not upset if they wanted to remake it, just because I think it'd be kind of cool.
If they remake it, I don't know, you need a better sword mechanic, because that little tiny dagger was rough.
Yeah.
The combat would have to feel better, and then I would be more into it. But overall, like, you know, the having like magic and like MP and HP, it was like really like weird, but it was fun. I got into it. Started getting into it
for sure.
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Wind Waker was fantastic. Which I hated it I hated it before I played it. Like everybody did.
You're one of those people.
Oh, I was like, no. But I knew I was buying it day one. Like, it was just like, I just wanted that realistic Space World demo that they showed or whatever. I think it was Space World.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really, really wanted that. But, you know, as soon as I put that game in, I was like, yeah, this game's awesome. This game looks amazing. And yeah, I did nothing but play that. I miss high school when I had nothing to do and I could just play video games all day. So good. So yeah, I mean, that's like top four right there for sure. Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina, Wind Waker. Like, I don't know, like, other than Link to the Past being number one, like, across the board. I mean, Breath of the Wild has to be there in the top five. Like, the order could go either way. The order could go either way for any of those. And I would, you know, for 2 through 5. But
Alright.
So good. But then it's hard too because Ages and Oracle seasons are so good too. They're all good. They're all good, man. I love them all. Yeah. I think the only one I really fell off of, like a mainline Zelda, like not counting Spirit Tracks, I just told you that I took like a 5-year break on. I also took a massive, the same time frame. I took a massive break on Skyward Sword. I bought it. Yeah. I bought it the day it came out. I got the collector's edition. I went to GameStop at right when they opened to get it, and again, I beat it in the same place after I met you. And mostly I stopped playing it because we went to Brazil, and I didn't finish it before we went to Brazil, but then we were in Brazil for 3 weeks, and then I didn't play it. And then when I got back, I just didn't think about it anymore. So it's just one of those things. And then I think I was just more into arcade games and stuff at that point too. And that's when I kind of sold off my GameCube, and I kept all the games, but I sold the console and kind of started getting rid of stuff. And yeah, I picked back up Skyward Sword and was I have to finish this game.
I forgot. I should show you. Speaking of GameCube, check it out.
Oh yeah, your 8-bit do DIY kit.
So this used to be my original GameCube controller that was wired, and now it is a wireless Bluetooth controller.
Does it show up as a Pro controller when you pair it to your Switch?
That's a good question.
I think that's how my Super Nintendo and NES DIY kits do.
Let's test this out real quick. Just see.
All right, let's test this out and then end the episode since we're just rambling now.
We are, but the folks need to know now the answer. So I think if you hit change grip order and then I hold the start button for 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's the only thing I hate about those. That's the only thing I hate about those controllers is the way they pair.
And yeah. It shows up as a Pro controller. Right there. So, yeah. But it works.
So my NES
one
does
just
the
play
same
with
thing.
This
How is the button mapping? Is it the way it should be? Does it make sense? Have you tried playing Sunshine with it to see if it matches?
I have not yet. I will have to report back next recording how it works with Sunshine or Smash Brothers or something.
Yeah, I'm just curious if because of it showing up as a Pro controller, I'm wondering if the mapping is correct. So that's the only thing I didn't like about the DIY kits was that to pair it to different things, you have to hold different button combinations, and then I'd forget it because I wouldn't play it for a while, and then I'd go to play it, and I'm like, shit, how do you pair this thing? And then I would have to go online and try to find the little, because it comes with a little piece of paper in the box, and that's gone. I have no idea where that is.
I mean, holding start for 3 seconds is easy enough for this at least.
For that one. But I think what it is for mine is that I have the adapter, so I can use it on my NES ones. I have the adapter for the NES. I can use it on the NES, and then I have the adapter for the Super Nintendo, so I can use that one on the actual Super Nintendo, and then the same with the Genesis. And then I have the N64 controller too. That's Bluetooth. That I think you can pair to those as well. But I also have the adapter for the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic. But in order to pair them, they have different pair methods. You have to hold left and hold start or something. It's weird. It's and to hook it to pair it to a computer, it's a different pairing than pairing it to a Switch or something like that. That's
interesting.
It's weird, and I don't know if it's just maybe it puts it into a different mode so it recognizes it as a Pro controller, or if just how those adapters for those consoles work. But I know that there's 2 or 3 different button press combos you have to do to make it connect, and I always forget about it. So, but that's cool. That's your original, your translucent.
Original. Purple? Yeah.
Yeah, mine was all
purple. And actually, if anything, it probably helped prepare the controller because this stick was pretty much dead from the original controller from so much melee. So it feels great now.
Nice. That's cool. So, all right. Well, we will wrap that up. That was a lot of rambling. Some top 5 Zelda bonus feature, some 8-bit do DIY review, and
I just asked a simple question of where it ranked, and then turned into quite the spiral.
There we go. That's why. Yeah, that's why it's cool to do these random talks, but I feel like we get better banter when we're talking about random stuff, like, you know, instead of going down like
For sure.
use this. So that's what we should do. We should try to do an episode where we're not just focused on what we're playing and do this and actually, but then that requires work.
Yeah. No more scripts though.
Yeah. I feel like just kind of going on the fly is fun. But anyway, that's gonna be it. We're gonna wrap it up. We're at 1:30, which isn't a little bit longer than I thought we were gonna be. But that's because of the random banter. But until then, we'll see you episode 36. Later.
Happy gaming.